Hey guys, happy Monday. It's Joe, and it's time for Pikkit with Joe. Excited for today's games. I actually like all of these matchups today. I think there's plenty of opportunities to make some money. Big shout out to you guys for being here. Happy Monday, Matt. Let's make some freaking money is right. I hope you enjoyed the weekend. David, big shout out to you as well. You guys got that win with the Vancouver Canucks. That was absolutely crazy. It was phenomenal to see them cover that puck line, I tell you. I was absolutely stressing it. So it was definitely a good game. And hi, welcome to the show. I appreciate you being here today. So you guys, 6 games on the board, lots of opportunities, more than 6 chances to make some money in these games. I got some props for you. Got a couple of these games to go to OT, 2 that I love to go to OT today. We got 2 brothers playing each other. You know we got to take them for anytime goals. So let's jump into that one. That's the first game we're going to talk here. The Florida Panthers taking on the Ottawa Senators. Now I just want to check current lines here, because I haven't looked at it in the last 15, 20 minutes, and I wouldn't want to give you the wrong lines. Okay, so the Florida Panthers have gone up to -152 favorite, plus 126 here for the Ottawa Senators. Total 7.5, juice to that over at plus 138 to the over, to the under -170. This total right now is unbettable, you guys, unless you're looking at both teams to score in the first period. You can't even take the over 1.5. Let me just look at that first period over 1.5. It's going to be disgusting. You're going to have to buy that up to 2. And in that case, I think you're better to hit both teams to score. So the over 1.5 in the first period is -186. That is unbettable for me. Both teams to score of the yes in the first period is coming in at plus 126. And I definitely think that is a phenomenal way to go in this game. So both teams to score in the first period give me at plus 126. Now, this is a game where we have the 2 brothers playing. We have Matthew Tkachuk and Brady Tkachuk playing each other. Brady Tkachuk has been on absolute fire at home. He's been getting these goals at home. So let's look at both of their props tonight. I do think you take both brothers to get a goal in this one. They're going to be battling it out. -105 for Matthew Tkachuk and plus 105 for Brady Tkachuk. And the funny thing is, I like Brady Tkachuk's prop a lot more than Matthew Tkachuk, and I do think they both get a goal. But if I had to pick between the 2, I would pick Brady Tkachuk here. He was so scrappy playing. He was playing with his brother in the All-Star games and everything, and he's just putting his heart out there on the line, and I love what we're seeing out of him. I think we're going to get a really big effort out of him tonight versus his brother Matthew. Now, he scored at least 1 goal in 8 of the last 9 games the Senators have played at home. Now, you got to remember, this is a game where both of these teams actually think they both have a chance of making it to the playoffs, depending on how these last couple games of the season play off. The Ottawa Senators haven't packed their bags. They're not ready to head off for the season. They're going to be fighting. They're going to be digging deep. Now, they've covered the puck line in their last 7 home games. So they're keeping games tight. With the Florida Panthers coming in as such large favorites, they were -135 earlier in the day, now -152. There's no value here hitting them on the money line. And I don't think I'd go against the Ottawa Senators and take them here on the puck line. I just don't see it happening. I think this is a tight one. This is one of the games that I do think can go to overtime. This game to go to overtime is plus 380. And my money is going to be there on it. So give me both teams to score in the first period. Give me this game to go to overtime. Now, with this total at 7.5, I'm not buying into it. Well, I do think we could have a quick goal. I'm hoping that we don't, and I'm hoping the first 5 minutes drops this total. Because it's 7.5. Could we still see it go over? Absolutely. I don't want to bet over 7.5 and pray for 8 goals in this one. I do think this is more of a 4-3 style game here in OT. So that's where I'm going with it. If you're able to get the Panthers earlier at -135, I do think it was a nice short price for this team. This is a battle of the Atlantic here. So both of these teams are really battling it out for a playoff spot. It's going to be a great game, you guys. Enjoy this one. I'm just going to take a look at your comments. You vote for Matthew. See, I'm kind of on the Brady Tkachuk ban. He's been playing so hard at home, carrying this Ottawa Senators team, and he's getting super emotional in some of these games. So hopefully that isn't his undoing in this one. But I do think with Matthew out there on the ice as well, we're going to see a fantastic game between these two. Benji, go Knights, go. I agree with you. Your Knights are on a roll, Benji. Hey, big sis, nice to see you here. Yeah, the Sabres do have momentum. We're going to talk about them in just a second. I am with you. They do beat the Canadiens today, in my opinion. Canadiens just off a win. Are not good. I think it's the last 4. They haven't been able to pull these wins together. So happy Monday, Kev. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, the NCAA tournament has been absolutely insane. Heads up, you guys. I just grabbed FAU at +2. That line is moving. So if you're with me for FAU to keep it close with San Diego State and possibly pull off another upset, I think their team is so balanced. And I think against San Diego State, they could pull off another upset. So give me the Owls +2. I'm seeing 1.5s out there. So if you like the dog like I do in that fight, better grab them now. The Aztecs are absolutely phenomenal, though. But I wasn't impressed with how they came out in their last game to start that game. They sped up their team, which I didn't think was going to be a way for them to get the win. And they end up getting the win at the end. So I was really impressed with that. But I tell you, I think the Owls extra day's rest as well can pull it off. Okay, let's get back to hockey here. And yeah, the Stanley Cup, it's going to be amazing. I cannot wait to see what happens. We've got so many teams fighting here to get in. Hey, Joe, in Chicago, you're going to take JT over points in that one for the Avs. Yeah, I think it's definitely a game you can get points with the Avs in. But before we move on to that one, let's look at the Montreal Canadiens taking on the Buffalo Sabres here. Now, Montreal coming in as a dog on the road, and I'm just going to pull up current odds for you guys. They are +150 still, -184 here for the Buffalo Sabres. Total of 6.5. Juice grossly to that over 6.5 at -152. If you like the Sabres for a big win on the puck line, +1.5 at +134. Montreal to cover that puck line, no value, +1.5 at -162. Now, there's a couple of things that I'm looking at in this one, and like you guys brought up, Buffalo Sabres kind of on a nice little win streak. This team doesn't realize, I don't think they have a hope in hell of making it to the playoffs, but I do think that they are fighting for something, thinking if they just keep winning that they will be able to get somewhere. Now, they are sitting 5th in the Atlantic and the Montreal Canadiens 8th in the Atlantic, but like I said, Montreal just can't get these back-to-back wins. So they're off a win versus the Columbus Blue Jackets. They blew out the Columbus Blue Jackets, putting up 8 goals on Saturday. They haven't been able to get the win in their next game after a loss in their last 4. Now, in this one here versus Buffalo, Eric Comrie is expected in goal and Jake Allen for the Montreal Canadiens. After this game for the Buffalo Sabres, they have no games on deck until the Rangers on Friday. So there's no look ahead here. This is the first night of a back-to-back for the Philadelphia Flyers. So, for the Montreal Canadiens versus the Philadelphia Flyers. So I'm not looking at it. They're sitting 8th in the Atlantic. They're not looking ahead to anyone, but I do think this is kind of one of those spots where off that win, I don't see them doing well. And they haven't done well in Buffalo either. They're 2-5 in the last 7 meetings in Buffalo, so they're not getting these wins anyway. Now, Tag Thompson is still day-to-day for the Buffalo Sabres. We got Tuch coming in for the anytime goal with value here, though, for the Sabres. I like this one to go over, and I lean that way. But again, we've got a high total here. And with these high totals, I'm looking for that first couple minutes to live bet this game if there's no goals in that first couple minutes. Now, could the Buffalo Sabres come out and go over the 1.5 in the first period alone? Absolutely. This Montreal team, though, has been digging deep, but they have been allowing these goals to come in and the shots on goal as well. So let's look at the regulation price for the Buffalo Sabres. I do not see this one going to overtime. So when you are looking on your books, the 60-minute money line, a three-way, we're getting the Buffalo Sabres at minus 120 in a 60. So I do think they get the job done in 60. Another way to look at it is we know the Montreal Canadiens have been struggling defensively. We know the Buffalo Sabres also, when they win a game, they normally put up a lot of goals. This isn't a team that can slow at any point. Now, this is juiced over 3.5 at minus 144. So I don't love it. I think if you're going to take it one way, I would take the Buffalo Sabres in regulation unless you feel like Montreal is going to have a really impactful game off a win. I did not see it. With another game tomorrow on deck, I don't see it either. So give me here, Buffalo Sabres in regulation. The next game on the board, you guys, the New Jersey Devils taking on the New York Islanders. Now, this one is going to be a fantastic matchup. We've got a battle of the Metro here. And now we've got the Devils minus 126 plus 105 for the New York Islanders. Total of 6.5. Now juice to the under, actually. Under 6.5 at minus 130. Over 6.5 at plus 106. Now the puck line here, if you like either of these teams, you can get the New Jersey Devils laying the 1.5 at plus 184. And I tell you, I'm so tempted to take that. Or we can get the New York Islanders here at plus 1.5 at minus 225. So we know there's no value there. I am tempted to take the New Jersey Devils on the puck line, but we look at the New York Islanders versus the Devils. They have covered the puck line as an underdog in their last 5. So these two teams play out tight. And this is the one that I do think as well can go to overtime. I think the Islanders will fight to the bitter end. This is, again, a battle of the Metro. Now, I think you also look at it as who do you think will control and win this game? Depends on where you're going to go with this total. If you think this is the New York Islanders game to dominate in, to really control that puck, you got to go with the under 6.5. But if you're like myself, and you think the Devils can get that win, you got to look at the over because we know this Devils team is so strong offensively. And yes, they're strong defensively as well, but the Islanders can put up the goals when they decide to. So I do think the Devils here at, what are the Devils at now? They're at minus 126. So they've actually come down in price. I jumped on them earlier at minus 130. I do like the value on the Devils on the money line at minus 126. I think it is definitely the way to go. We can look at their team total as well. Like Kev is saying, over 3.5 at plus 126. For the Devils to win, I do think, Kev, this is a 4-3 win. And I think that's what pushes us over that total because the Devils come out, they get the goals. The Islanders have to keep up in this one. So the Devils team total, something I hadn't looked at yet, Kev, but I love that with that beautiful plus money. Yeah, the Kings game, absolutely crazy last night. I tell you, these games are really playing out fantastically, you guys. Joe, thank you. Big shout out to you. Thank you for being here today. Sprinkle the Devils on the money line. Yeah, I'm riding them on the money line today. I do think they get this win. I'm sorry, I got a hair on my face. You guys drive me crazy. I do think they get this win today over the New York Islanders. The Islanders have been so inconsistent, and I know Sorokin is expected, but we got Vanacek expected in net for the Devils. And now remember, these two teams battling it out. The Islanders battling it out, sitting 4th in the Metro, and the Devils 2nd. Now, the Devils want to take the Metro, and it's within distance with the Carolina Hurricanes. So I do think they are playing for so much here. Now, they've won their last 8 games versus the Metro as well, this New Jersey Devils team. And now, while they have struggled in New York, I give you that. Been so strong. I just don't see them. And while they are 2-5 in their last 7 overall, this is a really solid team. So as long as they can get their scoring up, Kev, I totally think your play of over 3.5 for them with that plus money is a great way to go because that's how they're going to win this. They're going to win it by getting 4 goals. So this total, it has the ability to go over just because of the Devils. If you think it's the Islanders game, you got to take it under. So I think whichever way you're looking at with that, that is how you play that total. But when you look at these two teams, over 88 games, they've only averaged 4.9 goals per game. But again, this Devils team isn't the same Devils team we've seen year in and year out. Oh, Kev, I am so glad you cashed with me this weekend. We made some good money. I hope you all hit the Vancouver Canucks on that puck line. It was a sweat, that is for sure. But yeah, I'm always trying to give you guys those plays. And remember, if I can't get it up in the weekend in time for Pikkit, I'm going to post on that community board. So make sure you hit that subscribe, the notification bell, so that you know when stuff has gone up on there. So we did cover with the Avs. They weren't able to get the win. Oh, sorry. With Colorado over the Avs, they weren't able to get the win. But at least we got the cover there with that one. Devils are so much better on the road than at home. Looking at their road record, 26-6-2-2 on the season. This is why I cannot read and talk, you guys. And 23-13 on the road on that puck line. That's why I was tempted to take them on the puck line here, but I don't think it's that easy. I do think this is an overtime game. For the Devils, they are going to need Vanacek to stand on his head. It's Vanacek versus Sorokin in this matchup. So this one's to go to overtime is plus 330. Yes, Coyotes at home. It's absolutely take Coyotes at home plus 1.5. We're going to ride the Coyotes plus 1.5 until that trend stops cashing for us. The Coyotes, absolutely money makers on that puck line, and the books underrating them as well. Yeah, Chris, Sorokin absolutely can pull off the steal. So we need the Devils to come very strong offensively. We need all of them to show up tonight. Jack Hughes for an anytime goal would be nice as well. And Timo Meier as well. Let's look at the Seattle Kraken versus the Minnesota Wild. Joe had said release the Kraken, and I'm with you in this one at plus one? I believe it's plus 105 now. We've lost a little bit of value. It was plus 110 earlier in the day. I do think the Kraken have an advantage over the Minnesota Wild, who are coming in at minus 126. I don't like what we've seen out of the Wild as of late. This total sitting at 5.5, just to the over at minus 140, plus 114 to the under. I can't see this one going under that total. I would ride it over, but again, at minus 140, I don't love what we're going to have to pay on this. I would wait for that first couple minutes. Hopefully get a nice fast goal, and that's what we got to hope for in this matchup. I do think this one hits at least 6 goals, and I think it's because of the Seattle Kraken. Grubauer is expected for them. Marc-Andre Fleury is confirmed for the Minnesota Wild. Now, the Minnesota Wild, they won that last game versus the Blackhawks, low-scoring 3-1 game. They've got a road trip on deck. They will face the Avs on Wednesday, who are sitting second in the Central. So we look at the Minnesota Wild right now. They're first in the Central. These two battling it out for who is going to win the Central Division. I do think this is one of those games where it's not a quick back-to-back game that they have to play tomorrow versus the Avs, but a look ahead to the road trip where they do have to face the Avs, and then they have to face Vegas after that. Now, when we look at the Kraken here, they won the last game versus the Preds. That was on Saturday. That was a nice big 7-2 win in the game. I thought the Predators would be the better side of that because the Kraken were in Nashville for Friday night, and obviously they didn't go out and have any fun. Not the kind of hockey team I'd want to hang out with, but that's okay. They're caring about their season right now. So they're sitting fourth in the Pacific. Taking them here on the money line at plus 105, plus 110, depending on your book, I think is a really solid way to go. They've been so solid on the road, winning 7 of their last 8 games. Now, that one day's rest normally does affect them, but we saw them fine versus the Predators on that one day's rest as well. With Marc-Andre Fleury in, Grubauer is really solid. Marc-Andre Fleury has been letting in a couple more goals than normal. So I would lean, like I said, on that over 5.5. But again, the juice is too high at minus 140. If we get a couple minutes into this with no goals, that number should drop. It's even better. Yeah, shop those lines for sure, you guys. Okay, we got 2 more games to go over. We're going to start off with the Colorado Avalanche taking on the Anaheim Ducks. And the Anaheim Ducks here won this matchup the last time out. It was a 5-3 win in January, but that's not normally what happens between these teams. When we look back at the head-to-head matchups, the Avs have won and covered. the 7 prior to the January win and covered that puck line. And it's plain and simple for me here. I know Jonas Johansson is in goal for the Colorado Avalanche, who he's only played 1 game this season for them. He had a 2.86 goals against average in that game. I know he is in goal. John Gibson expected here for the Ducks, but I don't see the Ducks pulling the upset. And I see the Avs, with how strong offensively and defensively they are, being able to get these block shots on goal, really protecting their young goalie here in net. I do think this is one where the Avs come out strong, cover that puck line, laying the 1.5 on the puck line. I got it earlier at -110. Right now, if you lay the -1.5 on the puck line, it's -111. I actually like that number better. I know you're paying a little bit more, like 1 more juice, but 11s are my favorite number. So 111 here. I love it on that puck line. The over 6.5 is at -124, +102 to the under. And I would lean under in this one. I really would. I just don't think the Ducks have the ability to score. And I know I'm taking the Avs on the puck line, but I do think this is a 3-0 style game, 4-0 style game here for Colorado. I just don't see the Ducks answering in this game. They've lost their last 13 as a home underdog. And that 1 day's rest affects this team too. They're 0-4 in their last 4, playing on that 1 day's rest. The Avs so strong in Anaheim, winning 5 of their last 6 meetings there and 7 of the last 8 overall. Like I said, they've won and covered that puck line in every single game except for the last one back in January. The Ducks team isn't better than they were in January. It's this. And I think the Avs got caught in a weird scheduling spot when we look back at that game. So the Avs puck line -1.5. We haven't seen them cover that puck line in a while that we've bet, but they are 21-14 on the road on that puck line. So they have been very strong on it. We just need that win. Yeah, I would do the first period puck line as well, Chris. I do think this is complete domination from start to finish. So looking at that first period puck line in this game, and you guys know I love hitting it in that first period as well, because we're not having to worry about the empty netters and them getting a pointless goal that's not even going to get them the win. So the puck line in the first period at -0.5 is +108. So you're going to get some plus money there with the Colorado Avalanche in the first period. And there's no reason for them not to come out and score fast and early in this one. The Anaheim Ducks are allowing 39 shots on goal per game. John Gibson is not a solid goalie in net for them. He's had his moments and he can make some nice saves, but Colorado will come out firing. They got the shootout win yesterday. So they're on a back-to-back versus the the Arizona Coyotes. That was a 4-3 win, but I'm not worried that they're in any look ahead with the Wild on deck. I think this is one that come out strong. They get us the win, and then they face the Wild. This team is second in the Central, and yes, they want to beat the Wild on Wednesday. I think the Wild have more of a look ahead spot than the Avs have for that meeting. So if you're worried at all about the look ahead, where Chris is saying here, first period puck line, absolutely makes the most sense to take over the full game puck line, because at the +108, we're getting plus money. We don't have to worry about the look ahead and that empty netter to kill that puck line. But I do think the puck line is the way to go. You were thinking 5-2 Kev. I would sprinkle that if you got a good feeling about that. Absolutely. Oilers +1,300 to win the Stanley Cup. Do you just say things like that to hurt my feelings as a Calgary Flames fan? I don't want to see the Oilers win, Joe. I hate it. You put money on the Oilers. Come on. I don't think the Oilers can get past Colorado. Okay. Let's look at those Oilers. So they're taking on the Arizona Coyotes tonight. We have a high total. Is this one moved up to 7.5 is my biggest question. It was at 7. It is now at 7.5 to the over at +136 to the under at -168. These games where Edmonton's been in these high total games, they haven't been cashing easily if they do cash at all. So I would again wait. Live bet this one as that juice drops, that number drops. If it hits 7 and you're getting that at, minus 110 to the 7, I would do it. I think this is one we saw the Arizona Coyotes play really solid defensively versus the Colorado Avalanche, and then we did see the goals come in, but I do think this is another game where we can count on the Coyotes to keep it tight, taking them plus 1.5 on that puck line is plus 114. I would sprinkle that money line again at plus 260. You guys know how much faith I have in this Coyotes team in Mullet Arena. They are 20-11-3-1, one of the best home records in the league, if not the best at the moment. I've got to go and have a look, but they are right up there. They are 23-12 on that puck line at home as well. They've covered the puck line in their last 8 games at home. And yes, this is the second leg of a back-to-back. They played Colorado yesterday. They didn't have to travel anywhere, while Edmonton has the rest advantage. And they have won their last 6 as a favorite versus the Arizona Coyotes. This is their first leg of a back-to-back. If you like Edmonton tonight, I would take it first period, because major look ahead for the Edmonton Oilers here, which I think can allow the Colorado, I don't know why I keep wanting to say Colorado, the Arizona Coyotes to get back in the matchup. Vegas is on deck tomorrow. Vegas is first in the Pacific. Edmonton is sitting third in the Pacific. Now, the Coyotes are 7th in the Central. I know Edmonton needs every win they can get. I know they're trying to fight within this Pacific, but Vegas tomorrow is a major look ahead. So if you like Edmonton tonight, I would take them first period puck line. I think both teams score in the first period, though. So we saw this matchup in Edmonton. I believe it was 2-1 walking out of that first period for Edmonton. So while you can take both teams to score, that puck line for Edmonton, I think, might be your best chance if you're betting Edmonton. I just don't like Vegas on deck. And then after Vegas, guess who they have? The Kings, who are sitting second in the Pacific. This is a scheduling spot that is not good for the Oilers. They lose these games that we don't expect them to win. Or they lose these games that we expect them to win, like the Coyotes here. Could they beat Vegas tomorrow? Absolutely. Could they then roll into LA and beat them? Absolutely. But I don't know. This Coyotes team, not great, but amazing at home, amazing on that puck line. So I will take Clayton Keller for another anytime goal. He's been absolutely money. I've taken him for what? The last three or four Coyotes games. He's cashed us every time. Amazing plus money. What is he at today? I put it in earlier and I can't remember, you guys. I get so many numbers in my head that I don't even know. Clayton Keller plus 130 for that anytime goal today. We definitely need to hit that. I'm going to take the Arizona Coyotes plus 1.5, well, I already have, at plus 115. I'm also going to sprinkle that money line at plus 260. Again, both teams to score in that first period as well is coming in at, and we saw it in the last game, both teams to score at plus 140. I do think both teams score in the first period. If you think Edmonton can do what they did in Edmonton, get 2 goals in that first and hold the Coyotes to 1, then looking at the Edmonton Oilers on the puck line in that first period, much better than looking at the full game. Okay, that's where I'm going, you guys. In Edmonton with the rest advantage coming in here, playing so strong, it could be a prime opportunity in that first period. Okay, Benji, Coyotes plus 2.5 and the over 5.5 is plus 140. Phenomenal way to look. Coyotes do not lose this one by more than 2 if they end up losing. We could see, an empty netter situation, which we all hate to see when we're riding that puck line. But I do agree with you. Clayton Keller over 3.5 shots on goal plus 116. Another great way to go as well. You sprinkled the alternative total, Oilers and Coyotes over 7.5 plus 142. I love it, Kev. You definitely have a nice position there with that plus money. And that's the thing, you guys, when you are thinking you're going to get a high scoring one, doing what Kev is doing here and getting that plus money to make it worth it. We're taking something over 7.5 at minus 140. I just can't get there, but over 7.5 at plus 142, the value is all there. And we know Edmonton can turn this into a track meet. The Arizona Coyotes have been able to score on them as well with issues with defense. Skinner is expected in goal for Edmonton tonight too. Okay, so Recap parlay time. Again, happy Monday, you all. I really expect you. I really thank you all for joining me here. Apparently, I forget how to talk some of these days. Okay, best bets, recap, long shot, the Florida Panthers, Ottawa Senators. This is a battle of the Tkachuk brothers. Let's just call it what it's at. I wonder if the parents are going to be there and who they're secretly rooting for, because we all have that one golden child. I'm going to take here Matthew Tkachuk for the Florida Panthers for the anytime goal. He's coming in at -105. I'm going to take Brady Tkachuk for the anytime goal. He's coming in at +105. I like Brady Tkachuk better. He scored a goal, at least one goal in each of his last, or 8 of his last 9 at home. The battle of the brothers. They're both going to have strong days. Looking at Matthew Tkachuk's shots on goal would be another phenomenal way to go. Don't look at Brady's, because if you like him, just take him for the anytime goal. Florida Panthers average so many more shots on goal per game. Bobrovsky and Sogard expected in net for both of these teams. This is a game I fully see going to OT. To take this one to OT, it's +380, and I think they have every chance. If I had to take a side, I would lean on the Florida Panthers, but the value has gone there. For long shots, if you're wanting to put it in a parlay, you could take the +1.5. It's not a long shot, but long shot parlay, building a big one, because you're not getting enough value there at the +1.5 on the Ottawa Senators, but I do think it is super tight. So both teams to score in the first period, the over 1.5 in the first period, and Brady and Matthew Tkachuk for those anytime goals. So for the parlay, I'm going to take the Panthers and the Sens over 1.5 in the parlay. As another pen dies on me. I think I just write way too much, you guys. Okay, so the Panthers and the Sens over 1.5 in the first period, but I do like both teams to score. I do think both teams score in that first, so that is one of my best bets straight up. Looking at the Montreal Canadiens and the Buffalo Sabres, we're going to take the Sabres here on the money line. If the Sabres lose tonight, this will be the last time I bet them until next season. They should not lose this one. Montreal not strong off a win, and they're not strong in Buffalo either, going 2-5 in their last 7. I do think this is one that could go over the total, but I don't trust in Montreal to put up their share of the goals. So Sabres in regulation, best bet of this game. Sabres money line for the parlay. I do like their team total over 3.5, but again, it's juicy at -144. Tag Thompson is day-to-day, but Touche we can get for the anytime goal here, and I do like him. The New Jersey Devils and the New York Islanders, another game, has a prime opportunity to go to OT as this Metro Division battles it out. We got +330 here to go to overtime. Now, I do think the Devils get the win in this one. I think they come out just so much stronger, which leads me to taking the over in this game, because I think the Devils control the ice in this one. The Devils like to win games with strong offensive showings. Yes, they have a strong defense, but this Islanders team, I think, will give us a couple goals as well. Now, Sorokin and Vanacek, the goalies in this matchup, it's going to be an absolute battle, but one, I do believe in the Devils. So I'm going to take the Devils here on the money line. Again, I'm not going to take the puck line, because I do think this one is tight. I can go to OT as these two teams battle for the Metro. The Seattle Kraken and the Minnesota Wild. You guys, I have no faith in the Wild, and I don't know why. It's just this feeling about them. They just haven't been playing as solid as I would like to see. Now, the last time they played the Kraken, they won 1-0 game back last November. I think the Kraken, I like what we've seen out of them offensively. They're averaging 3.51 goals per game. Minnesota, a strong defensive team, but they are allowing more shots on goal to come raining in than the Seattle Kraken. The Seattle Kraken holding opponents to 27.5. If Grubauer is on fire tonight, we will see a really good game for the Kraken. Now, Marc-Andre Fleury is confirmed for the Minnesota Wild. He's been allowing a couple more goals than I would like to see. A couple of goals that I don't think he should have let in those last couple games he's played. So give me the Kraken. I'm going to put them even in the parlay. I think the Kraken should be -110, not +110, +105 in this matchup. They've just been playing so solidly. They're 24-9-1-3 on the road, 25-12 on the road on that puck line. I almost would love to take them reverse puck line here. I'm not sure I will get there, but that might be something I flirt with as the night goes on, you guys. That game kicking off at 8 o'clock Eastern. I will put a community post up if I end up taking them reverse puck line. Looking at the Colorado Avalanche taking on the Anaheim Ducks, you guys. For the parlay, I'm going to take the Avs in regulation. I do think the Avs in regulation is a pretty solid way to go, but I love the Avs to completely dominate. Laying the 1.5 at -110, taking the Avs in that first period, -0.5 a goal. That's coming in at +108, I believe it is. They won the last 5 first periods off of overtime as well, something to consider. It is +108 for that half a goal there. I think Colorado just dominates over the Anaheim Ducks. I don't see the Ducks being able to keep this one tight or even really score very much in this one. I think the Avs defense, even with the backup goalie, come out really strong, shut down the Ducks, and limit their ability to get these shots on goal. We saw it last season when they had Kemper in goal. They really supported him, and I think we will see the support tonight for their young goalie here. Now the Edmonton Oilers taking on the Arizona Coyotes. Yes, if it's not broke, you don't need to fix it. Take the Arizona Coyotes plus that 1.5 on that puck line at +115. Clayton Keller for the anytime goal again for his shots on goal. The Edmonton Oilers allow these shots to come in. Edmonton, strong look ahead position for this game, looking ahead to the Vegas Golden Knights on deck tomorrow. It's not even like Vegas is in 2 days, which I still think would be a little bit of a look ahead. It is tomorrow. I do think if you like Edmonton, though, take first period, okay, because we'll see them come out strong. It is at the end where we see Arizona fighting back to the very last seconds, and maybe Edmonton just cruises through for that straight-up victory. I'm still going to sprinkle on Arizona at home for the straight-up win because I will kick myself if they end up winning this one tonight. We know Edmonton let some of these games go that we expect them to easily win. It's like Edmonton when they're playing during the day. They struggle as well. 10 o'clock Eastern matchup here for this one. Now, Edmonton runs on Mountain Time, so that's not too late. Mountain Time, that is 8 o'clock Mountain Time, so I'm not worried about them being tired for this game, but they do have to play Vegas tomorrow night. And then the next game versus the Kings. So while they might win this, I don't see them covering that puck line. Give me the Arizona Coyotes plus 1.5, and that's what I'm going to throw into the parlay. That first period, actually, you know what? Let's scrap that. Let's take the Coyotes and Edmonton first period over 1.5 for the parlay. That first period, both teams to score, I absolutely love. I think they both score in that first period again, like we just saw them do. So for the parlay, that long shot parlay is the Panthers and the Senators over 1.5, the Sabres on the money line, the Devils on the money line, the Kraken on the money line, the Avs in regulation, the Coyotes and Edmonton first period over 1.5. Best bets, Edmonton Coyotes, both teams to score. Could this one go to OT again? Well, we look at Edmonton. They've been pushing so many games to OT. So have the Colorado Avalanche. Arizona Coyotes. I don't know why I keep doing that today. They've been pushing so many games to OT. This is another one that we have the possibility of going to OT. But I do think of the 2 games that I like the best to go to overtime would be the Devils and the Islanders. Battle of the Metro here. And the Battle of the Atlantic between the 2 brothers, the Tkachuk brothers, Matthew and Brady here, between the Florida Panthers and the Ottawa Senators. I think both of these both teams have a nice chance of pushing this one to OT in both of these games. So that's what I'm liking today, you guys. I hope you guys all make some freaking money. It's a good day to make some money. And it's snowing here in Calgary, by the way. I'm very unimpressed, but very glad I get to stay in my studio all day. Todd, let's hit those Coyotes plus 1.5. Let's make some freaking money. That is for sure. Yeah, thanks, Kev. Don't forget to smash that like button, you guys. Let me know below this video if you're watching after or if you're watching now, what you're going to bet, what you're going to parlay. Let's all make some money together. That's the whole point of this. Remember, the MLB show will start on Thursday with opening day. Still haven't decided what time we will do that show. Maybe right after Pikkit, and that's it. You guys have a good one. Keep smiling. Let's make some freaking money. I want to see the Astros dominate. I've got a good friend that used to play with the Astros. Mike Gallo used to be a pitcher for them, now lives down in LA. And I love to see his Astros getting the win. Thanks, Chris. Have a wonderful day. You got snow in Chicago. Well, I'm glad it's not sticking for you. It's sticking here, and I've got so much snow on my grass. It's probably about 2 foot tall. So we'll talk soon. Thanks, Kev, for being here. Thanks, each and every one of you, for being here. Have a good one. Keep smiling. Let's make some freaking money. I like MLB Mojo as well. MLB Mojo. It's a good one. I like it. I also like MLB Quick Picks because it's going to be a quicker show than this one, aiming for 15 minutes, 3 picks a day. So we can get there, you guys. We'll see what we end up with. Maybe Mojo Quick Picks. Have a good one, you guys. We'll talk soon. Bye now.